Tooheys Cup Newcastle Rugby League Premiership Grand Final of 1993 and a return to the home of football in Newcastle, the #1 sports ground. Devastated in the 1989 earthquake, it has been painstakingly rebuilt and is an absolute picture. A massive crowd in here today to see the grand final between Western Suburbs and the Kurri Bulldogs. And what an atmosphere it's going to be here come 3 o'clock this Sunday afternoon. A howling southerly beating down the #1 sports ground, and that could have a big effect on the game here today. It was way back in 1982 that these two teams met in a grand final, and that day it was at the International Sports Centre. Rambo Ronnie Gibbs scored a great try for Western Suburbs, and Johnny Scott scored one for Kurri.
Ronnie Gibbs opens up the pace. He's going to be close, and it's a force race on a call. Oh, they just hung off him and let him on. Turner plays it back to Winkler now. Winkler gets it on to Scott. Scott shapes, turns it back inside to Brian. There's a gap for Brian. He's got plenty of pace if he can turn it away. He's done so, and Scott will go in. Yes, and the Bulldogs are back in this game of rugby league, with Scott going out for a fine try.
Ronnie Gibbs scored 3 tries on that day, and Western Suburbs ran out victors 21 points to 14. Kurri haven't won a premiership since 1945, and of course the Rosellas are the defending premiers. As I mentioned, a howling southerly here at the #1 sports ground, right in the heart of Newcastle, and the toss of the coin is going to be very important. Referee Paul Lovett is out the centre at the moment, with the two captains today, Steve Linnane for Kurri and Tony Price for Western Suburbs. And the toss here is going to be very, very important indeed. And referee Paul Lovett looks at the coin, and Steve Linnane has won the toss and has elected to run with the breeze in this first half. And of course, for Steve Linnane, a very, very important toss to win. The toss of the coin, Steve Linnane from Kurri, you've won the toss, a very good toss to win here at the #1 sports ground. A howling southerly, you're back in the first half.
Yeah, Mike, it is nice to win the toss, but I don't think that'll have much outcome at the end of the game.
Prior to the game, how are the boys?
Yeah, everybody's a little bit nervous, but it's a grand final, and no matter where you play a grand final, everybody's going to be nervous.
We wish you the best.
Thanks very much.
Tony Price, the captain of the Western Suburbs Rosellas this afternoon. Tony, you didn't win the toss, but I suppose in some respects you won't mind going against the breeze in the first half.
No, that actually fits right in with our plans, Mike. We were going to run against the wind in the first half and hopefully maintain the Kurri side and come home strong in the second half.
Any nerves in the camp?
No, we're all, most of the guys have had a bit of grand final experiences, obviously a few nerves there, but I think we'll be all, after the first tackle's made, all the nerves will be gone.
We wish you and the Rosellas all the best this afternoon.
Thanks, Mike.
The defending champions of the Tooheys Cup Newcastle Rugby League Premiership, Western Suburbs, come out first onto the #1 sports ground to a few Bronx cheers from this very, very big Kurri crowd here. Tony Price leads them out, and they're a formidable outfit indeed. They've been in the last 3 grand finals, and they've got a star-studded line-up this afternoon. Scott Bradley's at fullback, the wingers Peter Jenner and Steve Headley, the centres Eddie Smith and Shane Mackley, the halves Steve Story and Tony Price, the captain. The lock is Brett Ho, the second row is Greg Price and Michael Reid, the front row of Tim Perrin, Paul Bowen and Todd Anderson, and Alan McMahon, that man Todd Anderson, a former Newcastle Knights player, could have a big bearing on the outcome of this game.
Yes, Mike, traditionally grand finals in the first 15 to 20 minutes are very, very tough forward exchanges, and I'm sure that Western Suburbs will be looking to Todd to in fact make sure that they absorb that early exchange and in fact try and take the ball over the advantage line all the time. So he's got a big assignment, particularly in the first 20 minutes.
Well, the cheers go up here now as Steve Linnane, the captain coach of the Kurri Bulldogs, leads his team out. A very inexperienced team as far as grand finals are concerned. Steve Linnane and Glenn Miller, the only two that have played in grand finals before. It's 1945 since Kurri won a title. They last played in a grand final in 1982, going down to the Rosellas. What a big afternoon for them here today. Their fullback is Brian Robb, the wingers Daniel Linnane and Dale Williams, the centres Glenn Messenger and Brian Quinton, the halves Darryl Johnston and Steve Linnane, the lock is Jason Linnane, the second row is Glenn Miller and Paul Romanak, the front row of Tony Hindmarsh, Phil Williams and Terry Bender. And Richard Jones, Phil Williams, the point-scoring machine, could be the trump card for the Kurri Workers Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think he will be. Not so much his point-scoring today, but his leadership and his quality. He is the player that Kurri look forward to. They have done all year. He's Kurri born and bred. His short kicking game and his locking kicking game from dummy half will be a telling factor. It's going to be a great spectacle and great to see a good crowd here at #1.
Your referee this afternoon, referee Paul Lovett. Gentlemen, I've got to ask you, which way do you think it'll go, Alan McMahon?
I lean slightly towards Western Suburbs because I think they've just got a little bit of class, a little bit of more skill, which will tell in the later stages, I believe.
Richard Jones?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Western Suburbs. 3rd grand final in a row. That experience could tell. But if Kurri get a good start here with the wind behind them, who knows?
Steve Linane takes it for the Curri Workers Bulldogs. Plenty of nerves out there this afternoon. Now it's Glenn Messenger. He scampers away from the play of the ball. A good hit up and good solid defence by the Western Suburbs Rosellas. Phil Williams at dummy half. Now they hit it up once again. Curri, that's a good run to Paul Romanek. Gets up, play the ball, pretty sloppy play the ball, the short side. And Terry Bender takes it up and West caught up inside the 10. So the first penalty of the match goes to Curri. And there'll be plenty of feeling in this match, Alan McMahon.
Well, they'd be very nervous. Both sides will be very nervous because they know this is what they've trained for all year. This is the climax of their season. So they'd be very nervous, very pumped up. And of course, the nerves are very important to see who settles down first.
Steve Linane, the touch finder, and he takes play into Western Suburbs territory for the first time this afternoon. They're going with a howling southerly at their back as Tony Hindmarsh hits it up for the Bulldogs for good solid defence. Eddie Smith and also Tony Price. Tony Price could really be the key for Western Suburbs here this afternoon also. Paul Romanek, good solid defence there by Michael Reid and also Tim Perrin for Western Suburbs. Williams now gives the short ball out to Linane, turns it back inside for Glenn Miller, and the defence is there to hit him hard again. Not much in it when you come to Winfield Cup experience, Alan McMahon. 5 for the Western Suburbs and 4 players for the Curri Bulldogs who've had Winfield Cup experience.
Yeah, that's right. So there's not much between it there on the scoreboard, which is a terrific amount of experience for both sides to have.
So the Curri Workers Bulldogs now, first chance. Linane spins it out to Darryl Johnson to kick him behind, and they look like a little bit of a knock on. No, says referee Lovett, and the Western Suburbs Rosellas are in possession. So their first time with the ball this afternoon, and they'll just take a couple of settlers here to really work their way into play. Todd Anderson. That wind is really going to play a bit of a mind game here with the kickers this afternoon.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they do kick, particularly into the wind, because you've got to keep the ball very low. Whereas whether you've got the wind behind you, you just put it high into the air and let the wind do the rest.
Western Suburbs, Richard Jones were going to run against the breeze if they had have won the toss anyway.
Yeah, very interesting stat. That shows just how much confidence they do have. I think the telling factor today, as Alan's already said, who can settle down first and handle the sheer emotion of this, because it's a very big crowd. West have been here, this is their 3rd year in a row, but Curri, it's their first for a long, long time, so whoever handles that emotion could be the victors.
And I'd say about 80% of the patrons here this afternoon would love nothing more than a Bulldog victory.
I think you've been kind, Mike. I think there's a bit more than 80.
Now the Curri Bulldogs taken into Western Suburbs territory by half a metre once again. Mick Reid, the tackler, along with Greg Price. The Curri Workers Bulldogs have got to wrap up Greg Price this afternoon if he gets the ball, because he can unload. It's on already. Glennie Miller and Tim Perrin having a little bit there, and it wasn't a bad right there from Timmy Perrin, and it's on already. This is the early emotion of a grand final.
Oh, well, who isn't in this? All the players are in the middle of the field and there's been plenty of punches thrown, but we'll watch probably on the replay here when we get back to it. I thought that the instigator of this was Timmy Perrin from Western Suburbs, because I think he took offence to the way Glenn Miller ran the ball up at him, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, in actual fact, he pulled up short.
He gave him a short one early, then stopped, and then now he gives him that one, which actually...
You've got to be very careful when you pick your mark against that man, Miller.
That's exactly right, he can throw him.
And I spoke to Glennie Miller before the game, and all he is interested in doing is staying on the field for at least 79 minutes of the match to help his side to victory.
That's what any player should think about.
So the penalty goes to the Curri Workers Bulldogs. They are 5 from the halfway. There is a strong breeze here at the number 1 sports ground, and Phil Williams is going to have a shot for goal. Phil Williams, the scorer of over 200 points in season 1993, is about 42 metres out directly in front. Kicks it, it's not a bad looking kick from Phil Williams, and the flags go up here. So the first points of the afternoon, a penalty goal to Phil Williams, and the Bulldogs have got their nose in front by 2 points. Well, while you check your doubles to see whether you're still in this afternoon, Scott Bradley will get the restart for Western Suburbs. And you can see the strength of the breeze as it holds up. Jason Linane turns his back, but Glenn Messenger picks it up for the Bulldogs, and he's brought down right in front of the sticks, about 20 metres out, 15 to 20 metres out from the Curri line. Brian Robb now.
Had a great game actually last week for Curri. He's very deceiving. He looks like he's got more miles on the clock than what he is. I believe he's only about 24.
Only about 24, and he really did come into his own later in the stage in that Lace game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did play very well.
So Curri with all the possession so far. Now here's Linane with a kick, and it's not a bad kick either. And it's going to find touch, is it? And does find touch right on the 20-metre mark here at number 1 sports ground. And with his kicking, he'll be a real factor in this first half.
Well, that's right. It's no secret what they're going to do when they're running that way. They'll kick early on the tackle count. What West have got to obviously do is withstand that. There's Steve Linane now getting the ball. Puts putty boot on the ball.
Slips the ball out the back. They keep it alive. Todd Anderson now. Touched there by Curry. 6 to go, says referee Lovett. Michael Reid with the ball now. Of course, the former captain of the Newcastle Knights reserve grade turns it away, but Steve Linane was there to grab the intercept. So Western Suburbs within their own half necessarily need to try and flick the pass.
Yeah, that was tackle one. You just can't concede possession like that, Mike, and Mike Reid would know that, and I'm sure he'll make up for it.
Jason Linane now. Here's Paul Romanek. He hits it up one for Curry. About 20 metres out, the Curri Bulldogs. Williams once again a dummy half to Linane. Out along the back line it goes. Miller now. He looks to drop it over the top to Daryl Johnston. Does so. Steps out of one tackle. Grabs his way across field. Greg Price has got him and brought him to ground. Right in front of the sticks, about 18 out. Curri really on the attack here. They go to the outer, to the scoreboard side, and Tony Hindmarsh, he makes some good metres for the Curri Bulldogs. They're about 10 metres out now, the Dogs. Williams comes back to the grandstand side. Linane gives it to Paul Robb. Brian Robb, and he scores! The opening try of the 93 grand final. A great short ball from Steve Linane. Brian Robb stormed onto it, juggled the ball, didn't have to bring it in, and dived over for the first try of the afternoon.
We traced this ball back actually to the mistake of Michael Reid to give Curri the opportunity to put some pressure on Western in their own quarter. But what a great ball here from Steve Linane. You see how he catches it off his body. He floats it across the body of the I think it was number 9 inside. Brian Robb just juggles it, but it was always a try and very well run onto the ball. That's a great try to start the proceedings.
Richie Jones.
Linane just sliding a little bit. Story caught inside. His hooker, Paul Bowen there, unfortunately caught out. Robb, a little bit of a juggling act and a great confidence booster.
Phil Williams, 1 from 1 so far this afternoon. Hit the upright 3 times last week. Moves in, strikes it straight over the black dot of the number 1 sports ground. And the Curri Workers Bulldogs with the first ascendancy of the match. They lead 8-0.
Shot a Story there. I think he's got might have a rib injury. He's a bit ginger.
Yes, I think it may even be a little bit lower than that, Richard. But Curri are away. It's Daniel Linane. He's up over the halfway. He's got Quinton in support, but the penalty goes to Western Suburbs.
Unfortunately, just in back play there, Brian Quinton and his opposite were just coming to terms and grappling with each other, and Brian's taking him out, and the referee saw it straight away and has penalised Brian Quinton for doing so.
Well, Curri Workers open up the Rosellas on that occasion, but Quinton trying to position himself, was seen to take a Western Suburbs player out of the game, and referee Lovett was right on the spot. Here it is once again, but what a good ball from Quinton.
It was a good ball. You watch Brian now in the back play. You see them grab him by the back of the jumper, then he pushes him down, and the referee was right on the spot and had no hesitation in giving a penalty to Western Suburbs.
So here's a chance for the Rosellas now. They're into Curri territory by 10.
And that's a great opportunity lost by Curri, isn't it? You know, they were attacking, and who knows what will have led from that.
Todd Anderson just hits it up for 1. Plenty of work from the big front rower so far. Timmy Perrin, he's been in everything too, and a good tackle there. It's Stephen Parry on for Curri. Now Greg Price, he can unload. Stands, still standing, gives it off to Bradley. Bradley now, and Parry's got him. So Western Suburbs on a bit of a roll here. Tony Price now. He's smothered there by the Curri Workers' defence. Anderson a dummy half. Out along the back line it goes. Eddie Smith puts it on the boot, and it's a race for the ball, and Daryl Johnson's there to clean it up for Curri. And Western Suburbs starting to get back into this match.
Yeah, had a run of possession, and what they've also done is they've forced the ball dead in goal, which means they've got to get the ball back courtesy of a goal line dropout.
So the restart by Steve Linane, and that's a thumping drop kick. That's about 55 metres, picked up by Bradley. He's running it back now. Lower grade scores, the grand finals of 1993. Reserve grade Waratah 15 defeated South Newcastle 12, and it was a double victory for the Tars today in third grade. Waratah 18 defeated Lakes 4. Michael Reid now. He's not too far out from the Curri line. Hindmarsh the tackler along with Williams. They go to the outer side. Tony Price shows it once, gives a short ball there to Brett Hode. Brett Hode stands, delivers to Tony Price, and the Rosellas are in for their first try of the afternoon. He started to move the halfback, and he finished it in fine style.
Yeah, this was a great try, Mike. This comes actually from getting a set of 6 on the back of another set of 6. And this is the third play of the ball. Mick Reid plays it, gives it off to Tony Price. Tony Price, I believe, off to Brett Hode, who crashes through. Curry tried to lock him up, but they don't lock the ball up. Tony Price makes himself available by coming around the player and scores a good try.
Yeah, sends one runner through. Brett Hode, great strength there to stay on his feet. Very good footballer, Brett Hode. Bob's a short one. Good foresight there from Price to back up. Very good try to Western Suburbs.
And here's the head-on shot. Tony Price was in it on 2 occasions here, gave it off. And as Richard Jones said, this man Brett Hode is a very, very good footballer indeed. Was able to stand there, and Price just doubled around, and Hode got the call, and the little halfback took it well and dived over for the second try of the afternoon and the first one to Western Suburbs. Bradley with a conversion attempt, and it's away to the left. So the score remains here at the number 1 Sports Ground of the Tooheys Cup Grand Final of 93. Curri 8, Western Suburbs 4. So a timely try for Western Suburbs. We've had 19.5 minutes of play in this first half, and the Rosellas, with their great attacking power, able to hit back, Alan McMahon.
Yes, well, very interesting to see now how Curri answer this, because they've given a bit of possession away in the last couple of moments, and Western Suburbs have been able to capitalise on that. So it'll be interesting to see the defence of Curri now, because they've got to lift, they've got to try and force an error into Wests.
Timmy Perrin with the ball for Western Suburbs. About 15 short of the halfway, trying to get up.
The ref's got to do something. That seemed to go on forever, that.
Tony Price, off to Todd Anderson. Shoulder charges his way ahead. 3 Curri defenders there to bring him to ground. Bowen, off to Greg Price, able to deliver his pass. That's the number 15 of Peter Chapman, who was scragged there, but they're in Curri territory by half a metre. Now it goes back to Price for the kick. And Brian Robb in good position to field this one, although the defence is moving up very quickly. Price puts the ball onside. And Eddie Smith with a flying tackle, but Robb was able to step out of that one. He steps out of the second tackle. Good run by the fullback.
Good return of the football there, Mike, wasn't it? He had a lot of defenders around him and still made inroads of about 15 metres.
He doesn't seem to be going fast, but he builds up a bit of momentum. Lenane. They look good when they spread it, Curri.
Yes, they do. They've just got to be very careful early on in the tackle count. They just don't be too adventurous to force an error in their own quarter.
Good ball from Stephen Parry to Brian Quinton. Slips over the defence. But Quinton's first touch of the ball of the afternoon. Williams gives it off to Parry now. He straightens the attack. Good tackle there from Peter Chapman for Western Suburbs. Caught up, in actual fact, was the marker.
The markers weren't square on, actually, Mike, and the referee has penalised them for that. Good opportunity here for Curri.
So the Bulldogs now, a chance to attack the Western Suburbs line. Big Terry Bender hits it up for 1 for the Bulldogs. 21 metres out from the line. Williams at dummy half. Gives it off to Tony Hindmarsh. The Terrier takes it up. He certainly doesn't shirk his responsibilities. The run around with Lenane. Phil Williams. Oh, and a wall of Western Suburbs defenders there. Williams now turns it back to the centre. Good defence by Western Suburbs, but the penalty goes to the Bulldogs.
Same result, unsquare markers.
So here is a chance for Phil Williams to put further points on the board.
Yeah, the referee quite right there. The hooker from Western Suburbs, Paul Bowen, he wasn't square on with the marker. He was just getting to his feet after just doing the last tackle, and the referee was spot on there with his ruling.
Phil Williams, 2 from 2 so far this afternoon. A pretty simple kick. Strikes it, and the flags are up. So Curri stretch their lead. They lead 10 points to 4. So a 6-point lead to the Curri Bulldogs. Well, I just got the feeling in the last few moments the Western Suburbs were starting to get into stride.
Yeah, so was I, actually. That's the 4th kick-off from Western Suburbs, Mike, and the 4th time the ball's found some dirt. be a bit of a concern to Steve Linnane to ensure that his players don't let the ball make up its mind which way it's going to bounce and take it on the full.
Anthony McDonald on the sideline. Sideline for most of season 1993 with a fractured jaw, and Richard Jones. This is a big gamble for Western Suburbs, but the youngster has been doing some private training. He is a powerhouse, and he will be an asset to Western Suburbs when he goes on.
Yeah, certainly will. It's just that crucial time before half-time, and I think Macca will certainly add a bit of thrust. There he is on screen, the big fella, Cheswick as we call him, after. But he'll add some power in that crucial time before half-time, as I just said, where the Kurri side, if they're a little bit lax around the rucks, he'll pick it up.
A kick from Steve Linnane. It's down to Peter Jenner. Crabbing across field, and Quinton's got him right under the sticks.
I think Brian might have taken a boot there while he attempted that tackle. There was a bit of concern
and Brian Quinton has not moved.
It'll be interesting to see if we can get it on the replay. Brian chased that guy right across the facing goal, and I just think he might have just accidentally caught a boot just as he prevented
up under the chin.
Yes, and
just catch this as he comes across.
But he certainly hasn't moved too much. Here he goes with the high tackle, and you'll see him slip down around the waist. Well, we just didn't quite get it in camera, but I think with that leg coming up, I think it has making contact, particularly with his chin or the side of the head.
Here it is. We might get it from this angle.
His head just snaps back, which would suggest that, yeah, there we go.
Just there.
Just landed on the hurl. Whack. Excuse me.
Doesn't do the profile much good, some of them.
So the restart for Western Suburbs. Glennie Miller back on. He's been on and off the field in this first half, and a very groggy Glenn Miller too. I think that virus that he had the week before the Lakes game may be taking its toll out there. Glennie Miller certainly not the fired up Glenn Miller that everyone knows. Paul Bowen, a dummy half for Western Suburbs, gives it off to Timmy Perrin. He looks to deliver too, but they finally wrap him up ball and all. So Western Suburbs looking to unload at every opportunity.
Yeah, and that's good play, isn't it? And I think Todd Anderson will come into his own fairly shortly with that, because he is a good ball player, because he's got good footwork. And what he'll need is a close runner, someone out of his pocket.
Tony Price allowed to get the kick away. Brian Roberts in position, but it finds touch about 23, 24 metres out from the Kurri line. And the Kurri Workers Bulldogs will get the food. Brian Robb plays the ball for Kurri. Here's Glenn Miller. Straight ahead at the defence. A good tackle there by Michael Reid.
Good strong tackle too. And it also ensured a slow play of the ball. So that's a very good attempted tackle, a good effective tackle by Western Suburbs.
And Kurri come up with the error. Terry Bender, Paul Romanek it was. So Western Suburbs forced the error in Kurri's territory.
That's right. That's what the game can come down to, is the errors. So Western Suburbs now with an opportunity, with their loose in their feet, just inside Kurri's half.
Brett Hode breaks from the back of the scrum. They go the short side. He's looking for a way through. Looked to get his pass away too, but couldn't do so. Gets up to play the ball now. 30 minutes gone in the grand final of 93. And Tony McDonald hits it up for the first time. Paul Bowen. Now to Todd Anderson. Anderson stands, look to deliver the pass, and somehow Western Suburbs got it back, and 6 to go, says referee Paul Lovett. They've got a great opportunity here, Western Suburbs. And the penalty goes to the Rosellas. Almost in front of the sticks, about 12 out. And Bradley will come up for the kick.
Todd Anderson just squeezing that ball out there. Come up trumps in the end. But they could have finished that set, and they might have ended with 6, but now it looks like they're a big chance for 2.
That was a professional foul there, Mike, actually, and Terry Bender from Kurri was probably a bit lucky to stay on the park here, because he certainly tested the patience of the referee in that play of the ball.
So Scott Bradley missed with his first attempt, comes in, strikes it, and strikes it very well indeed. So Western Suburbs get 2 points closer to the Kurri Bulldogs, and the score here at the number 1 sports ground of the 93 grand final. Kurri 10, Western Suburbs 6. So only 4 points in it in what's been a pretty good grand final, Alan McMahon.
Yeah, very, very close, and it's still very, very close. And by the way that these sides are aiming up, this could go right to the wire, this game. It's a very, very good game of football.
Richard, I think that breeze has eased a little bit.
Yeah, it most certainly has. It seems to be coming and going, but just a word from the dressing room, Brian Quinton's got a fairly solid cut above his eye. It'll be interesting to see. Certainly won't be back in the first half, whether they can patch him up to get him on which would be a telling blow for the Kurri side, and a big bonus for West as they like to shift the ball without someone of Quentin's pace covering and chasing them in the back line. It would be a big blow.
So the other bonus with Brian Quinton on the park is that he's got the pace to turn and chase. So if someone should happen to break their line, he's got the pace to turn around and stop it before it's a try.
Steve Story with a kick for Western Suburbs. Rob with the ball for Kurri. And I really do think the danger man for Kurri out there is the halfback for Western Suburbs, Tony Price. He's marshalling his troops very well out there at the moment, making incisive runs from dummy half.
Both halfbacks are very important from that role too, Mike. And Steve Lenane's certainly doing his bit. And I've noticed in stoppages of play, he's marshalling his troops and going and talking to them and reassuring them. So certainly the halfbacks have got a big role to play in this game.
Steve Parry looked to offload, couldn't do so. Toes it forward, play on, said the referee. And he's made some good ground. Gave the ball away to Phil Williams. Now to Steve Lenane. Lenane looking to link up. And it's Dale Williams got the kick in. And the penalty will go to Kurri. One of the Kurri players seemed to be taken out. It was Dale Williams.
This was a good ball from Steve Lenane. You watch this, he floats it straight across that defender of Western Suburbs, hits his winger Darryl Williams, runs out of room, puts the ball to it, and there, he gets taken out there by the West defender.
And play on to the Kurri Bulldogs, and Terry Bender takes it within just a couple of metres of the line. Kurri now really on a surge. The defence, they're going to pull him down. Romaneka was. Now they come out to Lenane. He turns it back inside. Came off a Western Suburbs player. Terry Bender with the ball now for Kurri.
6 to go, says the referee. Love it.
Loses the ball. Well, that'll be a penalty. And a penalty goes to the Kurri Bulldogs. And this time, surely they'll take the shot for goal. Briefing the ball away, says referee Lovett.
They've got to take the shot at goal here, but I just wonder to the referee, you know what I mean, these professional fouls, they're certainly going to test the patience of the referee, so players from both sides want to be very careful.
On screen, the coach of the Western Suburbs, Rosellas, Neil Baker, would love to be out there with his troops, but a broken jaw has prevented him taking any part in this particular game. Phil Williams now looking to make it 4 from 4. There is absolutely no doubt about that one. We had a perfect view of that. And Kurri stretched their lead. They now lead 12 points to 6. And we've got about 6 minutes before half-time. And once again, the kick-off hits the dirt. And Glenn Messenger now takes it up for Kurri. Western Suburbs at this stage would be pretty pleased that the score is only 6 points the difference.
Yeah, Mike, we just had Neil Baker on screen not so long ago. Well, even though the score is 12-6, they've got that wind is still very, very strong. So Neil Baker shouldn't be all that concerned, as long as the fact that they get plenty of ball in the second half.
Lenny Miller for Kurri. Williams. Steve Lenane. Parry. Come the grandstand side. Lenane shaping the kick, does so. And will that fine touch? It does so on the 20-metre mark. So Steve Lenane didn't want to hang around in his own territory for long.
But that's a pretty good completed set of 6 there, Mike. You see that West have kicked off, they've controlled it for 5 tackles, kicked the ball down the other end of the park, and that's exactly where Kurri want to play Western Suburbs.
Yeah, the ball's in West Court now. They've got to get right up the other end of the field. I'm sure Lenane would be happy to just close the half down, although there's still plenty of time to go. Going at 12-6.
Eddie strong run. And a little one that went in there from Johnston, I think it was. He got a little bit of a chat on the run too from referee Lovett. Western Suburbs looking for quick play the balls. And Tim Perrin, oh gee, that's a good strong run for the big front rower.
You said it before, Mike, the quick play the ball ensured a good run there.
West, they continue to go the scoreboard side. Story gives the ball out to Mackley. Mackley in a bit of space, but a great tackle there from Jason Lenane. Now they come back towards the grandstand. Price with the ball, looking to link up, does so with Bradley. Goes back to Tony McDonald, pushes off one. Tony McDonald, oh gee, that's a good run. Very little football in 93, but you'd think he's been playing every week. Tony Price now with a kick in behind the defence. Brian Robb is back there, and the ball will go dead in goal, will it? Or he's made a bit of a meal of it, but it's gone dead in goal. He played that pretty well, Brian Robin. Kurri will get the restart from the 20.
He looked awkward, but mission complete.
Good little kick there from Tony Price. A little bounce 1 or 2 the other way as it has. It's only just rolled over the in goal. As you said, that's looking awkward, all right. But a relieving 22 tap for the Kurri Bulldogs.
Not long before half-time. And I don't know whether Kurri have got enough as Tony Hindmarsh puts it down. And that's pressure from Western Suburbs, and Kurri make the mistake in their own half.
That's what West were looking for, an error from Kurri in their own quarter, or just outside their own quarter.
So Western Suburbs a real chance here just before half-time. Gives a good ball to Steve Story. Looked to dance out of that tackle but couldn't do so. Right around the ankles was Johnston and also Lenane over the top. Now Tony Price, busy always. Eddie Smith, cuts out one. And the defence closed quickly in Glenn Messenger. Western Suburbs not too far out. Mackley gives it off to Brett Hode. He runs straight into the defence of Johnston. And another good tackle there from the 5'8". Bowen gives it out to Price. He makes it a little bit of a blue, but the ball's gone behind him. He now tries to link up, throws the long pass over the top to Peter Chapman. He stepped out of one, Peter Chapman. Good strong run too from the replacement in Peter Chapman. Steve Story calling for it on the grandstand side. Will it go along the back line? Tony Price, a long cut out pass to Story. Story now fakes one out to Bradley. He knocks it on.
I thought that come off his foot.
Linesman in the far side.
So referee Lovett now going over to the linesman on the far side of the ground, the scoreboard side. Here is the replay. Story, a long, long pass out to Bradley.
Now, unless that went forward, which I think yes, it might have hit his hands, yes. But we've been called back for another incident on the far side. It looks between Tony Price and Glenn Miller.
And the penalty goes to Western Suburbs. So they have a chance with a couple of minutes before half-time to try and get back on level terms here with Kurri.
No, Steve Lenane arguing their point there with Mr. Lovett. But
arguing or debating?
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting to hear it, wouldn't it?
Perrin with a restart.
They just can't give West,
this much ball.
6.
It's West's third set of 6, actually.
Bowen, Michael Reid. He's close to the line, reaches out. Gets up, plays the ball now. Tony Price, long floating pass out to Peter Chapman. He steps out of one, still going Peter Chapman. Has he scored the try? No, the penalty goes to Kurri.
Double movement.
Let's look at the linesman in this. He's ruled on that for Mr. Lovett, which is good play from that linesman over there.
This is a long ball from the halfback, and hasn't he done well to actually beat that defender there?
Watch the linesman's hands in the left-hand side of the screen.
Yep.
Yep, good work. Helping each other.
Kurri would be relieved with that particular instance. That was their third set of 6 they had to defend.
Half-time siren goes here at the number 1 sports ground in the 1993 Tooheys Cup Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. A try apiece, a try to Tony Price for Western Suburbs, 1 to Brian Robb from Kurri. Scott Bradley has 1 from 2 for Western. Phil Williams, 4 from 4, the half-time score. Kurri 12, West 6. Well, let's have a look at a couple of incidents just before half-time, one involving Peter Chapman and Glenn Miller. Now, you'll see Glennie Miller throw a leg out here, and the penalty in actual fact did go to Western Suburbs at that stage. Chapman did well to step out of that. Now, here, the second incident is the double movement. Chapman involved again.
Yeah, that's right. He's beaten the winger, Dale Williams. Now there, the arm, the elbow are in touch with the ground, and he's lifted the ball over the try line. That is a double movement, a correct decision by the referee, who consulted the linesman first.
The start of the second half here at the number 1 sports ground. The man that kicked off, Brian Quinton, with a swathe of bandages around the head. Kurri have also made another change. Peter Brady, who scored a great try against Lakes United last week, is on. But there is Brian Quinton, and Kurri will be looking to him in the second half. Alan McMahon?
Well, certainly, because as we said before, just after he left the field, that he's got the pace. He's pace to score tries and the pace to stop tries.
Richard Jones, you've returned from the dressing rooms. What's the information?
Yeah, Western Suburbs, they're pretty keen actually, they're pretty confident, and why wouldn't they be with this win behind their back? Kick intelligently, chase all those kicks. As I said, they're very confident, and they think that Kurri seem to have thrown their best at them, and just what the answer that they will have in this half. On the Kurri side, just keep chasing and keep hitting. It's the last 40 minutes of the year, and it's their last chance. If they can cut out their unforced errors, Steve Lennane thinks they'll be well in this game. Well, of course, they're in front by 6 now.
Dale Williams, a good run.
Good run from dummy half, and actually that's not a bad ploy in these conditions to run a bit from dummy half, because you've got the opposition back to 10 metres. You get quick play the balls. That's good in-grounds into the opposition.
12-6 at half-time. Western Suburbs would have been pretty pleased with that scoreline, Alan McMahon.
Yeah, as we said in the first half, Mike, they've got a strong wind behind their back, and all the Western Suburbs, I believe, got to do to try and get points on the board is to complete their sets of 6, don't make any errors, use the wind that's at their backs and try and play the game in Kurri's quarter.
Yes, that wind is still quite strong here at the #1 sports ground, and the kicking game of Western Suburbs will come into play certainly in this second half. There it is on top of the newly constructed grandstand. Phil Williams now for Kurri. A low grubber kick, but down there to field it is Peter Chapman. That's Jenner, I should say. And the Kurri defence try to force him back. Glenn Messenger. Now Bradley. Good chase there from Daniel Lennane. Tony Price looking for runners. Oh, Brett Hode, great run. Now gives it out. A great ball in behind to Shane Mackley. Mackley now up to the halfway. But the defence is there to drag him over the touchline. Mackley tried to stay in the field and play, but couldn't do so. And Brian Quinton give him a little bit of a hurry up to go on with. Here it is again.
Yeah, look, that's a great ball. Shane Mackley comes around. He just runs out of real estate here, and probably the new ground here, the sportsman not playing on it before, comes perilously close, and of course the defenders from Kurri just take him over the sideline.
In actual fact, it's very, very hard to pick up field position with the brown markings, Richard Jones.
Yeah, there's certainly a couple of lines there. They keep going on. We noticed in reserve grade a guy picked it up, Waratah guy, and just strolled over the sideline. He thought he was in, but he was out.
Eddie Smith, desperate defence there. Johnston was through the gap. Peter Brady, he takes it up. Good tackle there from Bradley, right around the ankles once again. Messenger at dummy half. He has a little scamper from there. Only makes a metre or so, and Romanek makes the blue. And Western Suburbs are back in possession, and Steve Lennane goes right off his trolley.
Yeah, Steve would be more than aware of those errors, and that's an unforced error too, when Western Suburbs have had a fair bit of ball, and he would have liked the opportunity there to complete the set of 6 and probably put the ball in the air. But here we have the scrum now with West loose, left feet, and West got the ball.
Steve Story, the scorer of 13 tries in season 93. Bradley, Eddie Smith can play centre or 5/8, and Paul Lovett signalling the fact that it was a little bit high to Peter Brady. Tony McDonald having a rest for Western Suburbs. By geez, had a big impact since he came on as Timmy Barrett runs it up for Western Suburbs. There to meet him was Glenn Miller.
He hasn't shirked his task today, Timmy Perrin. He's taken the ball up quite often.
Todd Anderson, they stood on him. Todd Anderson still going. Can he get his arms right? Great tackle from behind by Glennie Miller. Western Suburbs really on the boil here. Bowen now out to Tony Price. Spreads it along the back line. Run around with Steve Story. Gives a great short ball to Shane Mackley. But the desperate defence of Kurri there. Dale Williams at Steve Lennane was. But Story now from dummy half. They're only a couple of metres out, Western Suburbs. Right on top here at the moment. Bowen at dummy half. Long pass to Price. Rob moved up quickly. He got it away. Eddie Smith now jigs. Stepped off the left. Straight back in towards the defence. And Timmy Perrin, Phil Williams there to bring him to ground. They lost a few metres there. Bowen now. Tony Price gives a short ball to Todd Anderson again. He was the man that made the break initially. Tony Price batters it out to Brett Hode. Mackley now puts it on the toe. A wall of defenders there, and Kurri did very well to get out of that.
Well, Steve Lennane saved Kurri's bacon there with a fantastic tackle on Shane Mackley. Here it comes now on, well, no, this was the one before. This is how they ended their set of 6 with Shane Mackley just putting the foot to the ball, and the Kurri guy just cleaning up, who's actually still down injured. But going back early in the tackle count, it was a terrific tackle by Steve Lennane on a runaway Shane Mackley. It was about 4 metres from the line. It was a tackle that had to be made. It had to be made ball and all, and he did that, and that saved their bacon, as I said.
So Jason Lennane in a bit of strife. Dale Williams in for his wing to relieve some of the pressure off the forwards.
This is where the backs have got to come in from dummy half, do some running, or to be first off the mark, to give the forwards a bit of breathe, a bit of space they need to catch their breath, because they've been working pretty hard, the Kurri forwards.
Harry Williams with the ball, scoops it up
Great
in
run.
one hand. Good run from the dummy half position by the hooker for Kurri, Phil Williams. Quick play the ball, last tackle for now for Kurri. Lennane chips in behind the defence, but Bradley Zeren's going to go dead in goal. Or is it?
No, it's
and
not.
Quinton's there. Play on. Bradley. Quinton missed him. Bradley's away. Bradley's got support on the grandstand side. Gives it to Story. Story steps off the left. Still going Steve Story. Delivers the pass. Tony Price now. And the Kurri defence are there to meet him. And it's the captain coach. Steve Lanona brings him to the ground. But good run by Bradley. Bad miss by Quinton.
Well, Brian was the only chaser, and of course he was coming at him with pace, and all Scott Bradley did was just step off the right foot, which is great skills. But what amazed me with Brian Quinton was that he still stayed behind.
Now they're away. Peter Jenner with a kick in behind the defence. Can he win the race? Peter Jenner. Jenner's close. Pushes Brian Robb out of the way. And it'll be a drop out from underneath the sticks, but good counter-attack by Western Suburbs.
This is a very well-weighted kick, wasn't it?
Let's have a look and see if there was any interference here.
Well, there was a bit of jostling, wasn't there, with shoulder tap contact from both players. And, of course, Brian Rubb's done very well to try and run him off the football, which he does. But there was a push in the back at the death anyway. So if the referee had plenty of options to penalise either one, and the correct decision, I think, is what he's done, is enforce that Kurri to a goal line dropout.
Yeah, that's right. Good kick. So that's what Kurri can expect from Western Suburbs. You talk about Storms from the south. They're coming from the south in green and red jumpers at all times. They're not afraid to shift the ball, any tackle, any part of the field.
Michael Reid hammered there by Tony Hindmarsh. It was a short kick-off that just held up in the breeze. Now Timmy Perrin. Oh, showing some fancy footwork there. And a good shoulder charge too from Timmy Perrin. Still going the big fella. Now he gets up to play the ball to Paul Bowen. Now it's Brett Hode on the charge, straight through the first line of defence.
He's had a strong game, Brett Hode, hasn't he?
Desperate tackle there by Doola Brady. They're very close, Western Suburbs. Tony Price gets the pass away. It's on the ground. Todd Anderson picks up, gives it off to Shane Story. Story now. Can he deliver the pass? Does so to Eddie Smith. Throws a little one to Tony Price. They're still throwing it around. Shane Mackley now, he steps off the left. Gives it back to Story. Story straight ahead for Western Suburbs. And he's finally brought to ground, but good attack by Western Suburbs, keeping the ball alive there.
Good offloads, Mike, wasn't it?
Tony
good support
Price.
play.
Oh, and Hindmarsh moved up quickly. Price delivers the pass, but just tapped down desperately by Kurri, and Kurri are back in possession. Yeah. Well, desperate stuff there from both sides.
Yeah, terrific offloads from Western Suburbs leading up to this. And what Kurri obviously have got to do on the other hand is, in fact, tie up the ball in the tackles, because they can't allow West to get comfortable to start offloading. Their defence has got to lift. If Kurri to win this game, their defence has got to lift to discourage West from going into offload.
Yeah, look, Tony Price, he's been the linchpin, him and Story, in that last passage of play.
Steve Lanane, a little bit of individual brilliance here. The chip and charge, he regathers, throws it over the top to no one in particular, but Glenn Messenger, he floats it out now to Daniel Lanane. He gets the signal to kick it high in the air. Bradley's there and takes it superbly, the fullback. By gee, it's been a top quality second half so far.
Great take, wasn't that? And it was again under pressure, and he's had his eyes on the ball, rose up high above everybody and took the ball. Well taken.
Yeah, it's actually Steve Headley there, but Scott Bradley has taken a couple himself. It's tit for tat in the high ball stakes.
That's Peter Chapman with the ball now for Western Suburbs. Bowen back out to Story. Tony Price. Williams has got him. Just short of the halfway, Western Suburbs. They go to the scoreboard side. Anderson, room to move, and the big fella charges up and makes another 10. Mackley at dummy half. Gives it back to Tony Price. They go to the air once again, Western Suburbs. Brian Robb coming across and takes it magnificently and gets the
what a terrific take,
Mike.
Again, this is unbelievable. Every set of six of Billington with the high ball, and plenty of courage shown by both players from Western Suburbs when he took the one previously, and of course by Brian Robb. They're great takes.
Parry now for Kurri. This second half's had everything, Richard Jones.
Oh, it certainly has, and the crowd's burning up now. That's the sort of thing that will get the backs up on the Kurri players again. As I said, they've been struggling a little bit in defence, letting the West players get the ball away, but they're the sorts of things that turn you around. With only 20 or so to go in a grand final, that could be the difference.
Terrific run there from Williams, the hooker. He's done that on a couple of occasions. They've got to watch him, West, because he's got some pace coming out of dummy half.
He's a very, very good player, Phil Williams.
Now Kurri, Lanane, the little chip over the top once again.
Probably wasn't Steve's best kick of the day, that one.
But a good tackle right around the ankles there from Peter Brady. Price. Now Headley. And the defensive effort of Kurri has certainly lifted in the last few minutes.
They've got to, Mike, because Westers have shown early, as we've previously said, go into offload, and there's guys like Todd Anderson, and they've got to stop that. They've got to make the ball the target. That's what they've got to tackle and prevent it from being offloaded. Story, Price. Linking up with Mackley. Still going.
Lets the ball go again to Story. Chapman quickly out to Jenner. Jenner now. Can he meet up with some support? No, he can't. Good defence there by Kurri. And one Kurri player hurt in the back play. Tony Price, a long ball out to Todd Anderson. Got around the defence. Throws it out to Bradley. Turns it back inside to Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith now on a good tackle there from Dale Williams. But they're in Kurri territory by about 11. Now goes back to Price once again. They go across the back line. Mackley out to Reid. Reid with the ball now for Western Suburbs. Turns it back into Steve Story. He throws the pass anywhere. Western Suburbs still in possession, but it went forward, said referee Lovett. That'll be the turnover. But by gee, the defence and the attack has been absolutely sensational in this second half.
Yeah, the ball now, as we can see, is getting plenty of movement. It's going from one end of the field to the other. Here's Shane Mackley. Positions his second rower, Mick Reid. I thought it was going to be the winger. Mick does well here. Keeps the ball alive. Back inside to Steve Story. Knowing it was the last tackle. Bit of a desperation, but good work. And good attack from West. And equally good defence from Kurri. This is a nail-biter.
This is what the fans love to see, Richard Jones, a grand final that's got everything.
Yeah, well, I suggested it may be a high-scoring game in the end. It's certainly not over yet, but, 12-6. The underdogs are down and they're fighting. The crowd seem to be well behind Kurri, but West are never out of this. You can never count them out until the final whistle.
Mick Reid. Or is it Brett Hode?
Brett Hode, I think, Mike.
Brett Hode gets up to play it.
They
Just
look
in
similar to
Kurri's
those
territory.
headbands.
Now Story gives it out to Eddie Smith. Stepped off the left. Looking to link up, can't do so. No score since half-time. The score remains Kurri 12, Western Suburbs 6. Price goes to the air with the right foot on this occasion. Rob's in good position. Bradley's coming through, but Rob's done it absolutely superbly once again.
Well, the process keeps repeating itself. West keep controlling it for 6. On the end, they keep auctioning the ball, and this man keeps climbing and nullifies any error or anything whatsoever that West might be able to sniff out.
That's 3 grabs straight out of the manual.
It's terrific.
Glenn Messenger recovered from a heavy knock that he sustained just after half-time. Plays the ball quickly. They're on a bit of a roll here. Kurri, Dula Brady takes it forward, and a good strong run from the replacement in Peter Brady. Great play the ball. Williams scampers away. Western Suburbs are going to be offside. Williams goes straight through the gap. Williams now, he's got the full-back, but he can't beat Scott Bradley.
Courtesy of the quick play the ball and the ever-alert Williams. That was a very good run.
Lenane trying to link up with Quinton. Quinton's there. Quinton's streaking for the line, but a great tackle there right around the ankles by Tony McDonald.
I think it was the last tackle, Mike.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Both options. West kicked that last 6th tackle. The one before that, they ran it. The one before that, they kicked, so they're all mixing it up.
Here
Kurri
it is
run
again.
it then.
Quinton with the ball.
Yeah, with his great pace. He's taken him on the outside. He's gone for it. It's the last tackle. If he gets caught, he finishes up 1 metre or 2 metres short of the line. Good run, good thinking, Brian Quinton.
Great tackle, Tony McDonald.
Brett Hode gets up and plays it now. Bradley, the 2 full-backs have had magnificent games so far. Peter Chapman hits it up for Western Suburbs, and that's a good strong run too. One hurt there for Kurri. It's Parry. He gets up slowly. Signals to the bench. Western Suburbs. Offload to Tony Price. Tony Price is away. Oh, and there's Rob made a great tackle holding Price's progress. Story at dummy half. Throws the long pass out to Mick Reid. Mick Reid now looking to link up with Eddie Smith, does so, but can't beat the tackle of Daniel Lenane. Lenane's a little bit worse for wear too. Now it's with Mick Reid once again. Hasn't he had a great game? And that's a try to Western Suburbs. And they're right back in the ball game.
Yeah, this goes back actually to the fact that Western Suburbs down this side here that we're commentating on made a great break, and unfortunately Kurri couldn't regroup. And just with their quick play of the balls, Kurri just couldn't muster the defenders. Although number 2, Daniel Lenane for Kurri, certainly did a good job when he stopped that tearaway Mick Reid earlier on, but unfortunately they've just run out of numbers. They can't regroup. They've got to get some ball if Kurri are to win this match. But a good try to Western Suburbs. You watch the movement here. Steve Story across to Mick Reid. Now this is where Daniel Lenane comes in there on Eddie Smith and comes off the worst of the wear. Eddie Smith gets up quick. He plays the ball. Kurri, you can still see him filtering back on side. Haven't got the numbers there. Steve Lenane's tried to take him high. Unfortunately, just didn't do it, and there's a try to West.
Yeah, Mick Reid, good short ball there. Eddie Smith, very strong player. Williams there just takes the full brunt of that, and it's just a consistency thing, isn't it? They've showed plenty of time, hands in, ball in hands. Mick Reid ended up an easy try, but of course it took a lot of work.
So Bradley now to try and equalise
There's Mick Reed.
the scoreline, and does so. So haven't we got a ball game on our hands now? Kurri 12, Western Suburbs 12. Back up. So the chant goes up for the Kurri Bulldogs, 12 all. And I must say, Alan McMahon, it's looking ominous for the Kurri Bulldogs.
Well, it is, particularly if Western Suburbs, as we've said earlier, can go into offload. Now, that Kurri be disappointed with that kick-off. It was a low kick-off, only bounced once, and it should have been a lot, probably longer. But again, this wind has picked up. It is very strong.
Tony McDonald now. He takes up, he always looking to offload Western Suburbs. They're back into Kurri territory. Here's Greg Price back on the field. Looking to offload, does so to Steve Story.
Referees call that forward. Bit fortunate there, Kurri, but that's what they've got to stop. If Kurri to win the match, they've got to stop the offload. And here, you see the low defender, which keeps the ball available. Very harsh decision there against Western Suburbs.
I reckon that was a bit tough,
backwards. Very, you know, that we were just about pretty well right in line with that. Interesting to note, Paul Bowen, Western Suburbs hookers left the field. I think we might find Tony Price is going to play in that dummy half roll. And he's very, very snappy from that.
Brian Robb, Kurri aren't done with yet. 12 all here at number 1 Sports Ground. The Tooheys Cup Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final of 93. Brady, good strong run from the replacement, Peter Brady. And a good tackle there too by Peter Chapman of Western Suburbs. Lanane out to Glennie Miller. The former Winfield Cup players should try and inspire their side now. Miller, they're deep into Western Suburbs territory. Williams, Romanek hits it up for Kurri, slips the ball out to the number 15, Michael Duffy. Kurri on the roll. Daniel Lanane steps back inside, tried to get the pass away, and still going. Good run there from the winger. Daniel Lanane for Kurri.
The man who can pull it out of the fire for Kurri is number 4, Brian Quinton.
Lanane now. Lanane looking to link up. Throws a long pass out to Brian Robb. Brian Robb's close. Quinton's there. Quinton gives it off to Dale Williams. And Kurri hit back here with a magnificent try from one side of the park to the other. Daniel Lanane with a play the ball. Ended up with his opposite number, Dale Williams, on the grandstand side. And Kurri are back in the ball game in front. Actual fact, they're in front.
Let's have a look at this. Steve Lanane, he does a cut-out pass there behind number 16, gives it to Brian Robb, positions Brian Quinton perfectly, then positions his winger perfectly by drawing the winger, and that's a great try to Kurri. This is going to be, the next 15 minutes, a great game, because this is going to go, as we've thought all along, right down to the wire.
Sideline to sideline. Great ball there from Lanane. Brian Robb, I feel Quinton could have scored. Good option there to use his winger. Good safe pass. And isn't this going to be a great finish to this great game?
So the head-on shot there is to play the ball on the scoreboard side of the ground. Lanane, great vision. Saw that Western Suburbs was stretched on the grandstand side. Floated the ball over to the fullback, Brian Robb. Robb took it up the defence. Timely pass out to Brian Quinton, and he did the right thing there. Gave it out to Dale Williams, and he scored. And Kurri are back in front in the 93 Grand Final. Phil Williams, a very difficult kick here. The breeze coming right across his right-hand shoulder, his right shoulder. He'll need to start this at the right-hand upright. Moves in, kicks it, and is going to stay out to the right, or is it coming around? Oh. And it's there! What a kick from Phil Williams! 5 from 5, and Kurri lead by a converted try.
That reminds me of the great Eric Sims. He used to lay the ball down like that, and all of a sudden you'd swear 10 metres from the post, the ball's got no chance, and then he just like that makes a liar of you. This is a great kick. You look at it. It's 10 metres to the right side of the upright. Then feints in, goes over the crossbar. A terrific kick.
So Kurri in possession. Brian Robb, and that's a good tackle by Steve Storey. Well, who would have thought about it, Richard Jones? Well, Kurri back in front.
Yeah, that's a good answer, isn't it? Western Suburbs showed the character to come back. To talk about character, what about the Kurri Bulldogs and to hit back within a couple of minutes?
Terry Bender, good strong run. By gee, that'll give him a bit of confidence.
Certainly will. There's about 12, 13 minutes left to go in this game, Mike, and Kurri, well, they've certainly showed plenty of that today. They've had plenty under the bonnet, and they should be very proud of every one of their guys' efforts. It's been terrific.
Peter Brady, he's been inspirational since he's come on. Peter Brady, quick play the ball again. Phil Williams.
Oh, I think it's hit a Kurri player accidentally in front of him.
It's gone into touch, but what will referee Lovett do here?
I think he's going to rule
He'll give the turnover, will he?
Well, I think it accidentally hit a Kurri fella. Yes, as he's ruling. So it'll be a play the ball for West.
So Western Suburbs now behind by 6 points. Tony McDonald hits the advantage line once again. Kurri's defence has got to be strong here. Now Greg Price with the ball, and it is strong too, and they drive him into the turf here at number 1. And that's pretty solid out there in the cricket pitch area.
Yeah, and I think Glenn Miller might have left a badge on him there.
Tony Price. He makes a good 10 or 12 metres for Western Suburbs. Greg Price out to Chapman, to Todd Anderson, slips it away to Storey. Storey in space, gives it out to Jenner. Jenner steps back inside, tried to get the pass away. No, he's still got it, Peter Jenner. Western Suburbs lethal in attack. Now Bradley. Bradley to Storey once again, to Todd Anderson. Still going, Todd Anderson charges towards the try line. He's going to score under the post.
The big man.
Well, Toddy Anderson just danced through some feeble defence to score under the posts. And Western Suburbs will convert this, and it's all tied up again.
These ominous signs here, because this particular fella, Todd Anderson, he was caught there, he was held there, the guys just slipped off him. Another attempted tackle, very low again, but of course he just strolls across and scores the try. There is, as we said, only about 10, 11 minutes maybe to go. This is going to be all locked up, so whatever they can find in reserves, both sides have got to find it, because whoever got the most under the bonnet's going to win this match.
Yeah, good play, Todd Anderson. A cool head in a tense situation. Just sliding back across the post. Ball there from Storey. Todd Anderson, Dula Brady had him wrapped up. Can probably, not thank his teammates for not supporting him there. Just going past, plenty standing watching. And just that little bit extra effort needed there. But Todd Anderson, a very good individual try.
Scott Bradley, 2 from 3 so far today. Shouldn't have too much difficulty with this one. Stabs at it, straight over the black dot. So it's all locked up once again. It's 18-all here in the grand final of 93. The Western Suburbs have shown that they can bounce back. So have the Kurri Bulldogs. Can they do it again? Michael Reid, he's been inspirational to Western Suburbs this afternoon. He's had a great game. In actual fact, I don't think there's been a bad player out there, Alan.
No, they've both performed very well for their clubs, let me tell you.
And all the replacements have done their job well too. Tony Price, now to Greg Price, the big fella. He got a bit of a touch-up from Richard Jones here a few weeks ago about his fitness level.
And didn't his mother give me some too, old Norma?
Todd Anderson. They're back into Kurri's territory by 5. It's been a good set of 6 here from the Rosellas. Greg Price turns it back inside to Tony Price.
Kurri's defence is standing back waiting for him. They can't allow that to happen. They've got to meet them on the advantage line or close enough to it. You can see them now. Kurri giving Steve Storey plenty of time there to make his mind up what he wants to do.
The chip over the top, everyone's onside, and it's Scott Mitchell's going to beat him into touch. But Steve Storey read that beautifully. He had the runners, and Kurri was short on numbers on the grandstand side. He was shaping there for a drop goal, but then he decided to chip over the top.
Kurri were very fortunate there that the ball actually beat the Western Suburbs chasers over the touchline, because if that had bounced properly for the winger, or fortunately for the winger, that would have been another try.
So Kurri now under extreme pressure, but they'll get the win from the scrum to Brian Robb, who really has been one of the stars of this afternoon's grand final. Neil Baker, a pensive Neil Baker in the grandstand. Time starting to run out. We estimate about 7 minutes to go in the grand final of 93. Peter Brady, Michael Reid and Tony Price, the tacklers. That defence is starting to sting a little bit from Western Suburbs. Tony Hindmarsh back on for the Kurri Bulldogs.
And conversely, Western Suburbs defence making the effort to try and meet Kurri, although not on this occasion, but the previous occasion that they did. And it's that room that either side has got to has got to take away from the side with the football. They've got to try and come forward, come out of the blocks and meet them.
Steve Linane and Tony McDonald just having a couple of choice words as Darryl Johnston gets the kick in, and it's down to Bradley. And Daniel Linane well offside there. He's got to go back now, and Steve Linane makes the tackle with Terry Bender. Price. Eddie Smith trying to jink his way through the defence. No way through there. A wall of red, white and blue jumpers. Greg Price. By G, he made some easy metres on that occasion. Richard Jones, the Curry defence, as Alan McMahon said, just starting to stand off a little bit.
Yeah, just waiting, which is not a good sign. Little blokes like that, like Price and his bigger brother, Big Price, just before that. So Curry, they've got to get off their heels and onto their toes.
Todd Anderson. Stands, swivels out a one. Plenty of Winfield Cup experience from Todd Anderson. Force back. Gets up, plays it now. Tony Price with an attempted field goal. He was a long way out. But Brian Robb's got the ball, makes a bit of a meal of it, but regathers. So obviously Western Suburbs have shown their intention. If they get within range, they're going to have a pot shot.
Well, they've got the big win still at their backs, haven't they? But that was a pretty ordinary attempt from young Pricey there for the field goal. And now Curry, they've got the ball. They're on their line. They've got to try and get quick play of the balls. Probably some dummy half running to preserve a bit of energies from the other players and get the ball down the other end of the park and force them now onto West.
Tony McDonald, some stinging defence on Peter Brady. And now it's Michael Duffy. Plays the ball. Paul Romanek. Just short of the halfway. Last tackle for Curry now. Williams back to no one specifically. Rob's got it. The left foot kick straight down the throat of Scott Bradley. Now he's got a chance of running it back strongly. Does so, gets his arms free and gets the pass out to Peter Jenner. Daniel Linane's there, but he stays in the field of play, Peter Jenner.
Do you think that might be a sign of tiredness from Curry's point of view there, Richard, where the dummy half couldn't find the kicker and they nearly fouled it up?
Yeah, it was really a nothing kick, wasn't it? And I think you're dead set right. But they just seem to be, I don't know, it's very hard to say, isn't it? Easy for us. They're just lacking that little bit, and it is definitely a sign of tiredness when the ball doesn't find its mark.
Price, they come the grandstand side to Greg Price. Out to Todd Anderson, thought about the pass, decided to take the tackle. 4 tackles gone, Eddie Smith at dummy half. Now to Tony McDonald. For not playing for such a long time, he's had a barnstorming game. Tony McDonald, Greg Price gives the short pass out to Scott Bradley. It was charged down. Western Suburbs in possession, and Jenner is brought to ground. Story. Now to Bradley once again. Just takes a settler right in front of the sticks. So they're just going to set up for another crack at field goal. Price gives it off to Greg Price. Slow motion at the moment. They're just trying to set Carrier deep. Tony Price, and a good tackle there by Paul Romanek on Tony McDonald. Tony Price once again, Todd Anderson. They want to change tactics, they're going for the try. Tried to get his arms free, but a great tackle over the top from Glennie Miller.
He goes
they're right in front of the sticks now. Tony Price, that's a long way back to Steve Story. He snaps it, charged him once again. And who's in possession? Western Suburbs, 6 to go again. So plenty of pressure here for Curry. Oh, and Shane Mackley makes a mill of it, and the scrum will go down.
Haven't Curry's absorbed plenty of onslaughts there, and I just noticed Phil Williams then pointing to his shirt, more or less saying to his Curry players, boys, if we're going to do anything, now's the time to do it.
So a bad miss there from Shane Mackley on the first tackle. Substitutions been made galore. Scott Mitchell about to come on for Curry. His first run of the afternoon, he replaces Glennie Miller. Daniel Linane got through the first line of defence. So both defences very tired at the moment. Peter Jenner it was that finally stopped Linane's progress. Brian Robb been one of the real stars here today. They're about 15 short of the halfway. Brady steps off the right, but easy pickings for Peter Chapman once again.
Good marker defence, particularly from Peter Chapman. He's come up with a couple, and he's just done with a chase there and come up with his 4th from marker, so he's done very well in that department.
Scott Mitchell, just short of the halfway. Phil Williams gives it off to Steve Linane. Can we see anything inspirational from the captain? Brian Quinton now pushes off Eddie Smith, still going Brian Quinton. But dragged down by Brett Hay. Last tackle now for Kurri. Phil Williams gives it off to Steve Linnane. Goes high into the air, Steve Linnane. The runners are coming through. Bradley's there. He looked as though he was taken out a little bit, but 6 to go and Western Suburbs in possession. So the knock-on will be called, and Kurri should get the feed.
Let's have a look at this on the replay. Now, he's got his eyes on the ball. Now, was he interfered with before he got to the ball? Not really, no, he had every opportunity there to get the ball. And now Kurri in a terrific position. I believe it's their loose and their feed. And only with about, say, 3 minutes left to go on the clock, he's their final throw at the dice.
Well, can the fairy tale come true? Steve Linnane. Steve Linnane gives it to Daryl Johnston. What a tackle! He's out, he's not too fit. Referee Lovett calls time off.
Linesman's in. Watch out. The game's not going to be settled.
Well, this is a high tackle. If you have a look at this on the replay, the fullback has got him around the neck area, and of course the referee's hands are tied. Any tackle above the neck, you'll see it here. Steve Linnane comes across now, brings the defender in, pops the ball up. He's on the outside of Steve Story now. Here's the contact there, and it's just around the chin.
Well, if
under
he's
the
consistent,
neck.
That's got to be a penalty.
It's a penalty.
It'll be a penalty.
So referee Lovett walking over to the spot, and he's awarding the penalty to Kurri. Now Phil Williams could give Kurri a 2-point lead here with around 2 minutes to go. So Phil Williams with what could be the game clincher here at the 93 Grand Final. 5 from 5 so far today. Steps in, kicks it, and the flags are up. And Kurri leads 20 points to 18. And have a look at the Kurri fans go up over near the scoreboard.
And have a look at the Kurri players run back on side very, very quickly, and the Western Suburbs players resume play as quickly as possible.
Brian Robb takes it well. He runs it out. There's less than 2 minutes to go in the 93 Grand Final, and Western Suburbs are desperate. Alan McMahon, could the fairy tale come true here?
Well, it'll be very interesting to see what they employ now. They just should be running from dummy half, Kurri, with a little bit more venom than that, Glenn, I suspected.
I thought he was going to lie down there for a moment, Glennie Miller.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll soak up every second of time here, Glenn Miller. A little knock to the nut, says Glenn, and I'll take a bit of a rest for a second. Time off, says referee Lovett. And Western Suburbs are dragging him, trying to drag him to his feet. Neil Baker in shot at the moment. Has the grand final gone for the Rosellas?
This just might be a tiresome Glennie Miller, actually, just taking time for...
Oh, and there was a fair shot there too from
There
Michael
was an elbow.
Reid.
Yeah, there was an elbow across the face.
So referee Lovett signals time on once again. Scott Mitchell for the Kurri Workers Bulldogs. Phil Williams, now Peter Brady. Michael Reid missed him, but Eddie Smith came back at him and they bring him to ground. They're about 15 short of the halfway. Phil Williams, Scott Mitchell once again, fresh player, and that was a big shot from Tony McDonald. 10 short of the halfway. Last tackle, Steve Linnane now with a kick. And it's not a bad kick, is it? No, it's out on the full. So Western Suburbs is still in this game.
But there can't be too much longer to go now, Mike.
There it is! The bell's gone! It's all over! And Kurri have won the grand final! Their first grand final since 1945! And Alan McMahon and Richard Jones! What a great grand final we've seen here this afternoon!
Actually, there was no loser here today. I know on the scoreboard Kurri have won, but Western Suburbs have played terrific. This has been a very good game of football. The standard in the local competition now is by far higher than I saw since the 6 years that I've been here. Terrific players on the field. Brian Robb, what a great game. How many bombs did he defuse? Steve Linnane, the little general, his kicking game, the way in which he inspired his players, the way in which he spoke to his players at various times. A terrific captain's performance. Western Suburbs, little Pricey the half, but what a great game he played. Todd Anderson took it up. Mick Reid tried all the time, you know, as well as the other forwards at Western Suburbs, Timmy Perrin, and of course Brett Hay. Look, that was a great game of football. The NRL should be proud of the standard of the competition, and if I had to give a man of the match today, I would give it to the fullback for Kurri. I know he shows he's got plenty of miles on the clock, but he had a terrific game today, and I'm just so pleased from Kurri's point of view. It's a long time since they've popped the champagne corks, but I'd say they'd be going often and frequently and very early in the morning.
Richard Jones, I reckon they'll make Steve Linnane the mayor of Kurri for the next 10 years.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't they? You know, that's a great team effort. Every time West counted, Kurri had an answer. We called them down and out a couple of times, but they fought back with that typical Kurri Bulldog spirit. Bad luck to Western Suburbs. They proved themselves a champion team last year, and majority of this year, all but a couple of minutes here. But look at the scenes out here. It's great it's a great scene and great for rugby league.
All right, let's go through the scoreboard for you. For the Kurri Workers Bulldogs, Brian Robin, Dale Williams scored try, and Phil Williams kicked 6 from 6. For Western Suburbs, Tony Price, Mick Reid and Todd Anderson scored tries, and Scott Bradley kicked 3 from 4. A great win of the Kurri Bulldogs here, 20 points to 18. In just a moment, we'll be back talking to some of the stars of the 93 Tooheys Cup Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. Well, Peter, you've been with the Kurri Club for many, many years, probably too many for you to remember in some respects. How does it feel at the moment?
Mate, this is the greatest football film I've ever had in my life. It's unbelievable.
You've never played a grand final for Kurri?
No, never, and to win it is unbelievable. What a great side, what a great player, Stephen Mayne. It's unbelievable.
Enjoy the moment, Peter. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, man.
All right, well, Phil Williams, a great day for you. Apart from this, you're joined by your lovely wife. You won't believe it's your wedding anniversary.
Yeah, Rich, thanks, mate. Yeah, first wedding anniversary, so it's all worthwhile now, isn't it?
Tell me about that kick from the sideline. You didn't come back as you normally would. Of course, that howling southerly wind.
Yeah, I only come back 20 metres. I picked out a C on one of the posters over there on the fence, and I knew the wind was sort of going across from corner to corner, and I just kicked it straight, and the breeze took it and just crept over. So that was a telling factor. I was just lucky. They go over, sometimes they don't.
Mate, West put plenty of questions to Kurri today, but the old Bulldog spirit was alive and well, and you come back with plenty of answers.
Well, West are a great side. They don't lose 3 games in 2 years if you're not a good side. We just had to work a little bit harder, especially when we dug deep on our line for 18 tackles, I think. And that was probably the telling factor, because we got a penalty straight after. Basically, they could have kicked a field goal or anything.
Well, mate, you thoroughly deserve it. I suppose there'll be a few Tooheys drunk tonight, and look out, Kurri Workers.
Well, mate, we've got a 24-hour licence, so we might be partying for a month.
Mate, all the very best. Well done.
Thanks, Rich.
All right. Well, I've got with me the losing captain, Tony Price. Tony, you're obviously very, very proud of your team, but I suppose words can't describe how you're feeling at the moment.
Not at all. It was very proud of the boys. They fought on the end there. I thought we would have had them there towards the end. It's a shame it had to be all decided upon a penalty.
It's been a long time, I suppose, for the Kurri side, but that certainly didn't concern your team today. A very proud effort, good effort from Neil. He's had a great few years with the club, and particularly yourself.
Yeah, everyone, the whole club, they've all performed well throughout the year, and I can't say any more other than praise them all.
Mate, you've got to saddle up again next year. I suppose you'll just have a few beers tonight, and over the next couple of days, think about it. It's all over now.
Yeah, it'll give us a bit more venom for next year, I suppose. After winning the grand final last year, we lost one the year before that, so it makes it more worthwhile, and it gives you a bit of eagerness to win the next one next year. So we'll be back in it next year with a big bang, I'd say.
All right, Tony. Well, commiserations once again, and enjoy your night.
Thanks, Jonesy.
Neil, it's the second time that I've stood here, spoken to you after a grand final. First was against Toronto. They'd never won a premiership. Kurri, their first premiership since 1945. Obviously very disappointed, but Kurri, a very, very good performance today.
They played exceptionally well, Kurri. In the first half of it, I thought their defence was superb. They scrambled very well. Mate, it's a bit of way to lose, but the best side one of the day shows on the scoreboard, 20-18. Good luck to Kurri.
Neil, you'd still be very, very proud of your boys' effort this afternoon.
Mate, I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of them all the time. They've done a great job. They're stuck by 3 grand finals in a row. It's a big job to get to the grand final. We've made 3. We've been beaten today. I'm sure they'll bounce back. They proved that 2 years ago when we got beat by Toronto in the grand final. They bounced back and went through undefeated, so good luck to them.
Neil Baker, commiserations.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Well, how does it feel, Steve Linnane, captain coach of the first Kurri side that's won a premiership since 1945?
Mate, without a doubt, the pinnacle of my career. So far, that is. I've got another couple of years left in me.
When Western Suburbs hit back and levelled the scores, did you think you were gone at that stage?
I knew we were in a little bit of trouble, but a couple of the guys behind the post said, 1945, we haven't trained since November to do it. that was our goal, and we done it, and we dug deep.
The try came from one side of the field to the other, from Linane right out to Dale Williams on the far side. It was a glorious try, the final one.
Yeah, well, it was just one of the things. West were a little bit short. I must give credit to West. They're a bloody good football team. But they've had their time, and this is our year.
What about the support here this afternoon?
Tremendous. I'd like to thank everybody that has come down from Kurri and all the other support that we've had here from the other clubs.
Steve, there wasn't a passenger in the side today?
No passenger, mate. There's grand final footies won from within, and everybody from Kurri, the whole 20 players and the coaching staff, dug in and done the job.
I know your dad was here watching the game. It'd be a very, very proud family moment for you.
Yeah, it is. Very proud.
Well done, congratulations. Savour the moment for a long while.
I will, Mike. Thanks very much.
And I think Tui's might be a special tonight.
Yeah, I'd say so. There'll be a few Tui's drunk at Kurri, and thanks very much to Tui's.
Well done, Steve.
Thanks, mate.
Well, another fairy tale ending to a Newcastle Rugby League grand final. The champions of 1993, the Kurri Workers Bulldogs, 20 points to 18 over a very gallant Western Suburbs Rosellas. We hope you enjoyed all the action. We look forward once again to bringing you Newcastle Rugby League action next year, 1994. Go the Bulldogs!